How's it going, everyone? My name is Jeremy Dwayne, and welcome to my guide to my Reign of Arrows Duelist. This is my character in the 1 month race, and I am level 79, almost level 80, and I'm getting molested by a cat. But it's okay, we'll just keep going with it because internet loves cats, right? Fat cats? Yeah? Okay. Well, anyways, like I said, I'm level 79, almost 80, and I think at this point in the build is kind of the perfect time to show you where the build is what the build's gonna look like in Endgame. So let's go ahead and go over some of the passives that I have right now, or the passive tree that I have at the moment. Obviously you start off in the Duelist, and you want to go this way. You can kind of save this bottom tier for later on. You don't have to get it right away. And you want to come down straight away into Iron Reflexes. It's a great place to start out. And you can grab this life too as you go, and then head over, grab Golem's Blood, all that stuff. If you want to grab Diamond Skin, that's going to help you out a lot. I don't currently have Diamond Skin because I had to spec out of it to get some reduced mana reservation nodes, but I'll be picking it back up later. And then you can also grab Berserking down here while you're down there if you want. And then you want to head up the tree and then come down and grab Blood Magic, because you're going to be leveling as Blood Magic Keystone, and then you'll spec out of all those points using the respec quests. I believe it's 10 respec points. So you're going to come down from this node, take all of these nodes on the way, circle around, come down and grab the Blood Magic. If you want, you can grab these life nodes right here, but I would recommend against getting these nodes. If you do need more life, grab these life nodes here, because you're going to get those eventually anyways. And then come around and grab the Marauder Tree. When you get to the Marauder Tree, you should be at the level where you can spec out of the Blood Magic Keystone and then use those points to grab the whole Marauder Tree. Again, this just depends on if you have the gear to Blood Magic gem your ability, because you're not going to be using mana. The only time you're going to be using mana is that first level up. So when you first get to Iron Reflexes and then come up, that's all you're going to be doing for mana. After that, the only mana that you use is either for auras, which I'll go into in a bit, or certain abilities if you have mana left over, like Lightning Warp or Enduring Cry, stuff like that. If you don't have the links to Blood Magic, that is. Again, pretty much it's a standard life build. This is when you play hardcore in Path of Exile, it's essentially Path of Life nodes. So really every build in hardcore that is life based is going to be the same. Okay, so this is the offline passive skill planner software that you can get on the forums. It's free. It's not official, so use it at your own caution. But I wanted to show you guys what the end game build is going to look like. This is 119 points used, so this will put you at level 100 because you help Oak in the first, in Act 2 normal, you help Oak. So you don't get that 120th point, but this is every single point possible that you could use. So this is not very ideal, but it is what's going to happen in the end. And apparently I have extra points to spend, so I'm going to grab some life nodes because I am not prepared. Okay, right, and then we'll spec out of that one. Okay, so now this is the end game build. So what's the difference? You grab the weapon elemental nodes over here. You grab the life nodes in the Duelist tree, because this is the only point that you're wasting in the whole skill tree, because this is melee damage. You don't gain any benefit from this. The previous one is also melee damage, but you gain the plus 12 to life, so it's kind of half and half. You gain maximum life, so it's not so bad. But the main reason why you come down here is if you need the life regen, because the life regen node is how you get to the 5.4 life regen, 5.4%, which is really helpful, especially if you have gear like me. And then there's also a 12% node and an 8% node there, so it's good to pick those up if you need the regen. Another place that you can it's optional, you can either grab these armor nodes in the Marauder tree, or you can spec out of that and grab, say, life nodes over here, so you can grab the might node, which will give you 15 life from 30 strength, and then you can grab a couple life nodes, or you could, you know, grab the node up here instead. It's optional. But regardless, I'm probably gonna stick with what I want to do and grab the armor, because I like to be a little more tanky, but that's just me. So yeah, you can grab those, and then you want to grab these reduced mana reservation nodes. Now, it's kind of a wasted point there, so I guess there's 2 wasted points in the whole build. This aura area of effect, kind of pointless, but it still helps out your group a little bit. But again, pretty pointless. But the reason why you want these reduced mana reservation nodes is because you want to be able to have 4% auras on your mana. So you'll have 3 40%, and then hatred, which is a 30%. So you'll have 4% auras on your mana. You'll have 0 mana left over, but you'll be really tanky and very strong. And then the usual, come up into the Templar tree, grab the weapon elemental nodes there, grab the life, and then if you can, come up and grab the amplify. This is specifically for Rain of Arrows, so you want to grab that. If you want, you can also grab area of effect radius nodes there and come up into the elemental damage and grab Celestial Walker if you want. But again, that's kind of optional. You want to go? You gonna go? You just standing up? You wanna rub the mic? Okay. That's kind of optional. I mean, that'll give you a little bit more damage, so if you want to sacrifice some of the life, you can grab some damage. Again, end game build, we're looking at 329% increase to maximum life. That's a lot. Most builds only have like 250 to 280. So this is going to be a very high life build. In endgame, of course. Like, this is, I'm talking like level, where did I spend these points? I have extra points. I spent too many points. What did I screw up? Oh, right there. Okay, so this is end game. Like, this, I'm talking, this is going to take like 4 months to get here. But for a normal end game build, which isn't all out, grab everything, it'll look something like this, except you'll spec out of these life nodes. So this is essentially the normal build. This is the 110, 111 points used build that most people do. This will get you to level 88 or 89 depending on which quest you choose to do. And this is essentially where you want to be at for endgame. So you're going to grab the weapon elemental. You'll skip those life nodes unless you want to grab them. Skip the armor. Come up, skip the extra nodes, and just get the essentials. Inner force, kind of a needed. You get the divine toughness, the fitness nodes. You get all the life nodes. You still get the reservation nodes. You get berserking. You get the resist. You get everything. It's a well-rounded build. Another thing that a lot of people do with Rain of Arrows is a lot of people go for point blank. It's kind of a toss-up for me. Like, point blank is very, very strong. I highly recommend you use point blank. But when you get into maps, point blank means that you're going to do terrible damage unless you're right up next to the mobs. So point blank is kind of one of those things where you got to wait until you have very, very strong gear to get. So keep that in mind. But it does increase your damage when you're up close. And the nice perk about it is that when you're up close, your Rain of Arrows... So this is how Rain of Arrows works. Like, it's a circle, and then in the middle is the center. And then as it goes out to the outside edge, the damage kind of fades away. So the highest amount of damage is in the middle, and then it kind of fades off. When you have point blank, that damage is 100% all damage. Like, from the middle to the edge is the same damage. It doesn't fade out anymore. So when you do it, it's just this circle around you that does a massive amount of damage. So it's very powerful, but if you need to snipe something very far away, your damage is going to be terrible. So I spec'd out of it because I like to snipe stuff. I do a lot of boss rushes and act rushes, and for stuff like Val, Merciless, I don't want to be next to it. I want to snipe it. So I spec'd out of point blank. Kind of use it at your own preference. Try it out, see if you like it. It's very strong, so I definitely recommend it if you like that kind of build. but you need to have very strong gear and merciless if you want to use it. Definitely use it while leveling it up though, because it'll help out a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. So let's go ahead and get back into the game. And I want to show you how I do my auras, because a lot of people don't understand this trick, and a lot of people need to take advantage of it. So right now I don't have any auras up, and in my inventory I have Malachi's Simula, which is the blood magic helmet. If you have the Covenant chest, it's the spider silk robe, which I have in regular hardcore. I recommend using that over this, because using the blood magic helmet limits you to not being able to use your auras in your helmet. So right now I have my Wrath, Anger, well, that's Enduring Cry, Wrath, Anger, and Grace in my gloves, because I don't have the Covenant chest in the 1 month race. But when I get back to hardcore, my plan is to get an Alpha's Howl hood, which is the unique helmet that gives like it's a buff to auras, and it also is reduced mana, so reduced reservation, so it'll help out a lot. Plus I can use my Covenant chest to do the blood magic trick. But you ask, what is the blood magic trick? So you have the blood magic item, you put it on, gets rid of your mana, and you're now blood magic. No matter what, you're blood magic. So what you're going to do is you need to have 1 extra red socket to be able to do this, because you want to reduce mana whatever you're putting on your blood. So for these auras, you want to have blue, red, red, green, which is very hard to get on evasion gear. So recommend having either pure armor or armor evasion to get these colors easily. So here's my reduced mana. It's level 18. This is also very key to have a level 18 reduced mana. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. So let's go ahead and put on Wrath, Anger, and Grace. So those are reduced mana and blood magic, so they go onto my life. And then you can take the helmet off, you start getting your mana back, you can take the reduced mana, and I have the rest of my auras, Vitality, Determination, and Hatred, in my helmet. So then you can just go back to town. And you don't have to do this in the Eternal Laboratory, you can go wherever you want. So now I have my mana back, and now I can put on Determination, put on Vitality, Hatred, and then I'm also running Haste, which is in my boots. So reduced mana down into Haste, and whammo. Okay. And then that can go back. And that can go back. I'm not using Enduring Cry, I'm just leveling it up, because eventually the goal is to get it in my boots. I'll have both of my Enduring Cries in something, and I'll be blood magic in them. So you see that I have 0 mana. That's because I'm using percentage auras, so it doesn't take like 100 mana. It takes the percentage of the mana that you have, and then with the 10%, with the 2 reduced reservation nodes right here, to 5%, you need both of them. You can also grab it down here. This one's actually cheaper if you come down to get blood magic, or if you're like on my EK Marauder, I come down this side of the tree and then go into the steel skin, grab these life nodes, and come down. If you come down this side, this one's better because you don't waste any nodes at all. I mean, you kind of waste the strength node, but technically that's 5 life anyway, so whatever. But this one's 5 reduced and 5 reduced as well. And then the increased radius of auras is the 3rd one, so it's not wasted like up here where you have to get it before you get the other 2. So just keep that in mind. If you're coming down this side of the tree, you might want to rework my build so that you do it. One way that you could do that is, so you would skip all of these, and then you would also skip these 2, grab these 2, and then grab the armor, and then come through there. And then you come down the side and connect right here. So if you wanted to do that, that's how you would do it. They do that. You do that with the EK Marauder. You come down and grab the armor, because you don't need any of these projectile nodes, so you don't get them. But so you need the 10% reduced, and then you also need a level 18 reduced mana to be able to do this, because if you don't have the level 18 reduced, it's not going to reduce the aura to where you need it. So this 40% determination aura gets reduced down to 27% because I have the reduced reservation, and the level 18. So without it, you can't do it. So don't even bother trying. You can't do 440%, so don't try. This is only for 340%, which can be determination, vitality, haste, purity. I believe those are the only ones. So, like if you need extra resists, and the maximum resists, you want to get rid of haste and put in purity instead. So, just keep that in mind. But that's how you do it. And then the fourth aura is hatred if you want the cold damage. But for this build, hatred is very strong because you have a lot of physical damage. In the end, you're going to be using a physical bow. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about endgame gear. So right now you see that I have a 6-link chest. I got very lucky. I 6-linked my 6 stock of Glorious in 72 fusings in the 1 month race. Very lucky. I plan on selling it eventually whenever I get into hardcore. Or get a 5-link. Because endgame bow is Lion Eyes Glare, which is a physical bow, but it's the best bow in the game. So you want to get a 5-link Lion Eyes or a 6-link if you have a lot of money or get very lucky. And then you want to get the Alpha's Howl hood, which is the aura hood. And then for the chest, you want combs, which is pretty much the chest that any life-based build wants. You want combs, you want Lion Eyes as a 5-link or 6-link, and then Alpha's Howl. So those are the unique items that you're going to want to get, but they're very expensive. You know, combs is like 20 exalts, and Lion Eyes goes from anywhere from 10 to like 15 exalts. And that's if it's a 5-link, get prepared to spend more. 6-link, hope you're rich. But that's the endgame gear. The stuff that you want to look for on gear: high life, good resists, and then after that, so like you see my chest, it's 91 life, 35 lightning resist, and then I regaled the armor and exalted thorns. GG, but whatever, it's worth minimum 15 exalts just for being a 6-link. But you want to look for stuff like increased elemental damage with weapons on like rings and amulets. You want life, resist. So if you can get 2 resists minimum, great. You can also get stuff like this that has a little cold damage, or any elemental damage would be great. Again, high life, resists. Chaos resist, very, very good thing to get. You want to have chaos resist. I am at +5 chaos resist. Oh, my fire resist is down. I'll have to relook at that. But I'll have to run purity instead. But I'm at +5 chaos resist and merciless. So I have a lot of chaos resist. These gloves are kind of crap, but they have attack speed, decent life, and chaos resist. Those are 3 things that are great. An upgrade from these would be a little faster attack speed. I believe it can go up to 15. Higher life, because you can get like 90 life on gloves, so try to get higher. And then higher chaos resist plus other resists. That would be an upgrade for me. You could also get some other damage nodes or damage modifiers in there as well. But yeah, and then on the quiver, this is kind of goes both ways. Like, you want to have a very defensive quiver. Treat your quiver as a shield, so you want high life and resists. But on top of that, you want to look for something that has weapon elemental damage, or actual elemental damage, like static elemental damage. So you want to look for stuff like that. But keep in mind that a quiver, while it's often looked at as another damage modifier, look at it more as a shield, so you want life and resist. Always. It's kind of how hardcore goes. With a bow, you can either go full-on physical or full-on elemental, or a mixture of the two. So this bow has attack speed, projectile speed, which are 2 things that you really want. Lightning damage, cold damage, great things to have. The Lion Eyes Glare bow is going to be pure physical, but you can still, with that bow, even though it's physical, you can still grab the weapon elemental damage nodes and stuff like that, because Wrath and Anger are going to be giving you, and Hatred are going to be giving you elemental damage to your weapon. So it's going to modify that ridiculously. So weapon elemental damage is very good, even with a physical bow, because you're going to be running the auras. So again, you want to get cold lightning or fire damage on your bow. all three would be great. You want to get high numbers. This bow is kind of bad. 76 is very low for lightning damage. You want to get into the 90s for everything. And the attack speed's very slow. You can get, I believe you can go up to 15%. My last bow was 13%. And the projectile speed is very slow. So this is kind of a mediocre bow, but it's still a decent bow to start off with. So that's kind of it. Again, get a combs when you get a 5-link bow. Speaking of that, I didn't even go over the actual ability itself. So let's go ahead and look at what I have in my links. So I have, I can just leave it on, I don't know why I took it off. So I have Rain of Arrows, which is 20% quality. Life Leech, which is also 20% quality. Blood Magic, doesn't matter if it's quality because quality doesn't do anything. Weapon Elemental Damage, 9% quality. I will be GCPing that up to 20% eventually. Faster Attacks, which is 6%. Helps if it's quality, but you don't have to. I'm not going to GCP that. I'll wait until I can buy one that's higher, because that's way too many. And Conk Effect, which doesn't have any quality, but it's very strong as quality. So try to find a higher quality Conk Effect if you have one. I'll be buying one that's higher and then leveling it up as I can. So what would you get as a 5-link? You would do everything except for Faster Attacks. Faster Attacks is your 6-link, because my attack speed is still very, very fast without it. So with it, it's overpowered. Like, look at this. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. So just keep that in mind. It's your 6-link. It's not really needed, but it helps. So you can kind of play around with that. Like if you don't do the percent auras, then you can drop the Blood Magic gem, and then you can have the faster attacks in your 5-link. But I recommend you don't do Blood Magic Keystone and you use your mana for auras, because you're gonna have 12k armor with decent gear. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. 12k armor is very strong, in my opinion. And I only have 4.4k life, 4.1 effective with my auras on there. But it's only gonna go up from here. And I don't have a ton of gear that has high life. Like this is only 77, I can go up from there. This is only 40 and 77, I can go way up from there. Again, 84, 91's okay. And this is very low. So I can get a lot more life on my gear. I can get a lot more damage on my gear, a lot more resist. And another thing that you want to look for is stats like intellect or dex. More intellect, because you're going to be very hard on int. So don't feel bad if you need to get the savant nodes in the tree. I spec'd out of this one. I'll probably spec back into it, because our intellect is very, very low. So we're gonna need a lot more intellect, because it's only 144, and a level where is it? Level 17 Enfeeble uses 138 intellect, or wrath. 138 intellect, so I'm pushing it very close. Like I can't even level this up again until I get another int node or more int on my gear. So keep that in mind. This is a very long video. I'm going to try to cut it down in editing, but if not, sorry. Hopefully you kind of stuck by and paid attention. But this is my build. This is my race character. I love this character a lot more than my EK. I am gonna definitely keep playing this character until I die. And if you guys have a Combs and a Lionized Glare on the 1-month race and want my 6-link, hit me up, because that's what I'm trading it for right now. Right now I don't really want to get rid of it, and if you want a 6-link, Lionized Glare and Combs, that's my price. Even though it's not worth that much, well, it could be, it's debatable. But yeah, that's my price of the 1 month. So anyways, we'll talk to you later, and see you on the stream. Have a good day.